Welcome back to another episode of Poddy Magic. I'm very excited to have my guest today. We've done a little bit of training in the off-season. He was the number 6 pick for Hawthorne in the 2020 draft. Yep. He's an absolute ripper bloke. I'm very excited for this chat. Please welcome Denver Granger Barras. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you very much for letting me into your mansion here. It's beautiful. How good. But a little bit of backstory, I guess, of how we know each other. So in the off-season just gone, in sort of December and leading up to the start of your pre-season, we did a little bit of training together. So we were training with everyone. You trained with Jack Carroll, Shannon Neal, Jake Bassini. Did you do some with Chappie and stuff as well?
No, I don't think we had Chappie there. I think he was stuck all the free.
But they were good. They were good fun sessions, eh? Yeah. They were good. They were really good. And it was good just having like the crossovers with everyone. But I guess you guys all knew each other from like state footy and around the place?
Yeah, 16s footy and then also Colts coming up. You sort of get to know the familiar faces and all that. So I've known all them for a long time and it's always good to see them again.
No, it was good. It was just like a good fun, just get in there, hit the stuff out and like you guys had your own stuff you're doing as well. But no, it was really good fun. But obviously when you've had a fantastic start to the year personally yourself, obviously all to do with Poddy Magic, obviously.
There's a direct link there.
And how you feeling like when you first came back from sort of being away into the preseason, how'd you feel? Did you feel pretty good? Like it all went pretty good?
Yeah, we have lots of targets, as I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah.
Beforehand with skin folds and running targets, weight targets, things like that. So it's always pretty daunting. My first proper preseason start. Yeah. Just sort of seeing where I sort of sat, and there was a few things I sort of missed, but. Yeah, in the weights room, I was definitely better off after a bit of body mass.
Yeah, for sure, man. Honestly, he was trying to. You know what? I hardly actually had to do any of the revving up half the time. Everyone, it's just you, bro. You were just like, come on, everyone, get off another 10.
I'm very competitive.
So just to get us like going a little bit more, and I guess before we get into some footy stuff, I like to work out it or hear a couple of things from some stories, and I just want you to tell me if it's true or not true, and we'll go from there just to get everyone to know you a little bit more at home, right? So true or not true that you go to the Macca's drive-through after every game? True or not true?
Yeah, it's
true. It's true. That backseat of the car filled up.
Burger.
Nice. What's the order?
Well, it changes depending on the feel.
Gotcha.
But actually, I've faded away a little bit. I'm noticing I'm not so hungry after games anymore.
Gotcha.
No, I normally go and get a quarter pounder and then a Caesar wrap. I just love the grilled chicken Caesar wrap. Yeah,
nice. And you used to work at Macca's or HJ? Macca's?
Yeah.
Was that first job?
Yeah, first ever job. They say that once you work there, you never want to eat it. But I remember I was a young kid eating as much as I could, stealing bacon. It probably wasn't a good first choice as a upcoming footballer, but no, I enjoyed my time there.
Oh, mate, you've burned about 5,000 calories in a game anyway, mate. You could probably have 2 Big Macs and be no problem. So.
Yeah, exactly right.
All right, is it true or not true? You only listen to country music.
No, that's false.
Oh, I don't. But apparently, I was told that you were going to say that that's false, but apparently that is true. What do you listen to? What country music do you listen to?
I listen to everything. Absolutely everything. I listen to classics, Roy Orbison, really old. I listen to Phil Collins, but I also love like new rap. But there's also a fair bit of country.
Oh, there is country.
It's not.
Well, mate, with a name like Denver Granger, that honestly, that sounds like what's it called, a country musician. To be perfectly honest.
If I wanted to.
Is it true or not true? Your favourite meal is your dad's spaghetti.
Yeah. Still to this day.
Still to this day. What makes it so good?
Well, it's a family secret.
Is it? I tried real good there.
I tried to get one on me. No, I tried to cook it the other day for all the host family, and it was good. It was still their favourite. They all said it was amazing, but it just didn't quite have that.
There's just something missing.
Yeah, I think he gave me half the recipe.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it secret.
Next one. Is it true that early on when you were dating your girlfriend, that you went into the gym with her dad? Right? And there was a bench press, right? And there was a bench press. And you went, you know what? I'm going to show off in front of the new girlfriend's dad. Let's do this, right? And you went, let's stack some weights on. Got the weights stacked on. Yeah. Went down the bench, in front of the father-in-law, and then you farted.
Yeah. It's true.
Oh, God.
I tried to play it off like nothing happened, and And then all of a sudden I walk inside. So Brad, my partner's dad, walked inside a little bit before me, and I've walked in and they're all just sort of looking at me and laughing. And it was like 30 minutes before. I was thinking, what's funny? And someone said, got a bit excited, did ya? And I've just put my head down and I've walked into the room. I don't think I came out for a couple of hours.
God. You just have to own that one. You go, oh, well, shit happens.
At least
Farts happen.
Shit was close to happening.
God, that is funny. And is it true that the only football that you watch is your own highlight reel?
That's false.
That's I don't believe that for a second.
Some of the young boys, Jack Carroll would be one. He'd watch his gym highlights. Well. Not me. No,
I think there was one video that I've got on my phone that you were quite jealous of how much video time I was giving Jack in the gym once. And you're like, why are you filming Jack?
He doesn't need it. He's already got enough followers. He's fine. Get me on there. I'm the one that needs to be working out a bit harder.
Oh, mate, the blue tick. We haven't even talked about the way I was when we were messaging last night just to tee all this up today. I've noticed there's a blue tick.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I said, welcome to the club, brother. Their life is about to change.
Yeah, I thought maybe you had something to do with it.
I thought yeah, put in a good
on
word.
The Poddy, you thought, he needs a blue tick.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't get anyone that doesn't have a blue tick exactly on here. Right, so. How good is the feeling?
Yeah, it was different. It was a weird one. I remember.
Did you wake up and see it or what?
Yeah, I was just chilling upstairs in my room and I saw someone tag me in a story. And I was like, oh, what's this going on? So I've had a look and he's like, just taking a screenshot of my name and next to denver.gb, which is my Instagram handle, follow that one, is a blue tick. And I just thought, like, what? Like, what's going on?
Amazing.
Yeah, it felt weird. I felt a bit insecure about it. I told Abby and I was just like, it just doesn't feel right.
You're a verified
not me.
You're verified celeb now, my friend. How good is that? That is awesome. Very good. Well, congratulations. I can't wait to see what blue tick table we get for dinner when we go on later. It's going to be something real special. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get into some of your footy stuff in just a second. That was good. So let's go right back to early football days. Where'd you play juniors?
Yeah, it's a little town up top of the hill in it was called Gooseberry Hill.
Yeah.
Or Kalamunda was sort of the area. I went to primary school there and just grew up there through my childhood. And there was a tiny little football club called Kalamunda Junior Football Club.
Nice.
Costera Oval, which is right next to a senior high school. But yeah, I spent all my junior playing days there, and it's still one of the ovals that I like imagine myself playing footy on, and I just love it.
Yeah, awesome. And you played the whole time for the same club?
Yeah. I was thinking about changing at one point because a lot of my friends, as I came through sort of high school, were at different clubs, and you want to play with your good mates and that. But I decided to stay the course, and
nice.
I just love it up there. I love the community. I love all the people. Still in contact with a lot of them.
Yeah, that's wicked. Oh, the Hills are a different breed. They're good. My dad actually grew up in Kalamunda.
Really?
He played for the Cougars.
Yeah. They're the older ones. A lot of my mates play there now.
Yeah. So no, he loved it. And he always talks about that Kalamunda football days. Yeah, it's a real. They're built different there, aren't they?
Yeah. You just don't forget.
Yeah.
Forget the Kalamunda Cougars.
And were you always pretty good? Were you always sort of like one of the better players in the team, or was there a sort of a point that you maybe got a little bit bigger, you got a little bit better, anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I remember I had a really good mate, Aiden Adams, was my best mate, and he was like, from what I remember is like I was really good young, and then he wasn't so good, and then he got really good, and I sort of fell away a bit, and then I reckon I've been 6'4" since I was 14, 15. So I've been quite tall for a long time.
Developed like pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I had a couple of big spurts. I never put on any weight, but I was just this long, lanky kid who just loved marking the footy, and that's just sort of where I went with my game.
Yeah, and were you always a backman because you're playing back line at the moment with Hawthorne?
Yeah, no, I was.
And you're drafted as a backman as well, though, hey?
Yeah, I was drafted as a backman. Played all like senior footy back home.
Yeah,
Colts footy as a backman, really. But when in my junior days, like I remember I used to play a couple games there if I could outside of the Colts with Swan Districts.
Yep.
And I'd never want to play down back. I'd want to just chill up forward.
Yeah, of course. That's where it's at.
They were pretty nice, and they let me do that, which was pretty good. But no, I do like playing down back. I'll be there for a while.
And then when did that switch, that you were then a backman?
Oh, probably year 10 or year 9. I had a coach that was...
For Swans?
No, I reckon it would have been Kalamunda. We had a new coach come in. He was a bit more defensively minded. So he was, I think our midfield as a group weren't that good, so it was down back quite a bit. So he thought, why not put him down there to mark it?
Gotcha. You put your best ones back.
Goals. Yeah, exactly. And then hope that they do something up the field.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Nice. And then from that, played for Kalamunda Swan District.
Yeah.
Sorry, what am I saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
Swan Districts.
Yeah, Swan District. So I think I was 12 when I first got to Swan Districts. I remember my first year, Riley Garcia he's a year older than me. He was there and he was a star. Like,
Yeah.
Gus was just like, you just knew him as like, he was just the best midfielder there was.
Yeah.
So I looked up to him a lot. And then Jake Bassini, who was also a year above me, I think he was there. So I was there as a younger bloke, just sort of trying to take as much in, not so much playing as much, but yeah, just trying to learn as much through the futures and then give myself the best opportunity when I went to Colts.
Of course, yeah.
Eventually league.
Well, you kind of find that either players that have either had like an older brother or they've played up divisions and that sort of stuff, that they end up doing much more with their career because, you're obviously playing against guys that are way better. So that makes you better. And
you get to a point where you have to go back and play against your own age group and you've already been playing a couple of years up. So you're like,
this is easy. These are cones.
I don't want to say easy. There were definitely some touch-ups. I got some touch-ups, but no, it was good to go back and play with some of the guys at my age.
Wicked. And was there any other guys from like your junior days that are now in at any AFL clubs? Or?
Oh, there definitely would be. I just can't really remember. So like Logan McDonald, who was drafted a couple picks before me.
Yep.
I didn't play any junior footy against him because he was in a different league sort of thing. And from what I can recall, there aren't any that were in my league, but there's some that are in my league now that are coming up and getting drafted now, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And it's so good that it's not just about getting drafted at, 16, 17, 18 now. It's like, there's so many different pathways and everything.
Yeah, it's so different.
I chatted with Nick Martin yesterday and just like, again, there's so many different ways you can get in, train through roles and, different rookie spots and everything. It's pretty cool.
How good's he going?
Oh, bro. So good. And man, he's done some good plugs for Body Madge as well. He specifically said it in interviews as well. I'm going, I get a free session. That's
I don't know if I'm that loyal. I don't know if I like you that much.
And then played state 18s? 16s,
Or 15s technically, but
yep.
We won't talk about the 15s days, I don't reckon.
They weren't much good.
They weren't very good. But it was a good learning. I will. I remember I went into playing the trials to sort of get into 15s. I wanted to play 16s as a bottom major, but it wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with Jake Bassini, Riley Garcia and things like that. But the Swans director said, "Oh no, you go play 15s with your own age group and have some learnings." I remember playing the trials and I was just having the most fun ever, just playing ruck and then roving, going forward, kicking, a few goals in a quarter, things like that. But then I learnt that, like, I remember vividly. Tony McHale, one of our coaches, came up to me and said, "You're going to be our captain, or you're going to be one of our captains. Just gonna need you to just lift your leadership in this area, things like that." And young me, I was pretty excited, captain of the 15s team, state team. I was like, that's pretty sick.
That is cool.
But I just let it get to my head and I became complacent, and then my footy just did not follow. So we played against Tasmania, and so I was a captain that got dropped. And I remember walking up to Tony McHale and I said, why am I not playing? Was it like a rotations thing? And he goes, "No, you just sucked. You just sucked." And I had a terrible carnival, but I learnt so much, went away, and then that gave me a really good opportunity.
Well, I think you definitely need to be a little bit humbled at some point. And just like anyone with any professional career, you're not just on the way up the whole time. It's probably a good thing that happened at that point though, because then it's sort of put you in a good mindset, and you knew the work rate that you had to do and all that sort of stuff as well to move forward.
100%. I think it just it was a good time. 15s isn't so important. The recruiters aren't really looking at it as in depth. And then, I came to 16, developed some emotional maturity.
There's a cat here.
Oh, hello, Rhonda. The Rhonda wants in. Developed some emotional maturity, and then, I think that's what gave me a good step up, a good leg up in the 16s.
Yeah, for sure.
Which then was sort of like a springboard going into 18s.
And then into the 16s. So then how did that go?
Yeah, it was good. We had great bunch of boys, made some really good connections with a lot of the fellas, and that sort of helped our team building, and then we ended up playing pretty well. We fell one game short of the championship, as they call it.
Yep.
But I remember I think I captained the game at Metricon in the Gold Coast. It was kind of up in the Gold Coast, and I just loved it. I just embraced everything. I let all the boys shave my head and things like that.
Just had a proper footy trip.
Yeah, exactly right. It was good fun, but like I said, there was lots of learnings, and then that gave me also a springboard into 18s, which was super beneficial.
Yeah, definitely. And then from sort of the 18s, and I guess that even at the 16th point, there was probably interest from clubs and sort of people looking at you and that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. I think the rule was at 16s they can't interview you, but they come and watch. So
of course.
Come and get involved in some of the camps and things like that.
What's that like? Like, what are you like?
It's pretty nerve-wracking.
Man, if you're like 16, 17 years old and someone's like, judging what your dreams and aspirations are.
Absolutely. Well, you just sort of think everything you do is a test, which can be a really stressful and draining mindset. What you eat, what you do, what you say, whether you hold a door open, things like that. These things recruiters might not even pick up on them, but you're analysing yourself in a way that is so tiring at such a young age. But I guess it's good because it's exposure. Yeah. You understand it. And then when it comes to 18s, all those sort of habits become subconscious and you're just doing it and you don't really have to think about it. Therefore, it's not as draining.
Of course.
Yeah, also really good.
Yeah, which is good. Maybe just switch your headphones over the other way just so that cord's there. Just it keeps banging on the microphone. It's just, it's awesome. No big deal. But just, we're just looking after the viewers, the listeners' ears at home. And then was there other clubs leading up to the draft? Did you kind of know you were going to get drafted? Like, obviously, if you're going top 10, you kind of think.
Yeah, I've never been shy in saying that the position that I was in when I was in the run for the draft was a super blessed position. Yeah. I didn't have the uncertainty of whether or not I'd go to a club. It was more so which one and what order. Blessing. Yeah, exactly right. So I had a club come to me and I won't say who, but a couple days before the draft and said, if you get to our pick, no matter what, who's there, we'll take you. Yep. And I just thought that was like the first time anyone actually said it. So yeah, it was like a massive sigh of relief. And now it was like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to end up? Things like that. Yeah, I was always going to move into state. So
yeah, of course. Yep. And I guess the night of the draft, was that COVID stuff? So you were in Perth?
Yeah. So we had a big Zoom set up at home.
Sick.
Had Abby, my partner's family over. Had my family over, and my manager. So I wanted to keep it really
intimate. And I guess all the people that have actually been a part of that sort of that build.
Absolutely. I guess just keep it like I said, nice and intimate. Make sure that the people I knew and really cared for at that point in my life were
Cat's jumping up here, wants to be part of the pod.
He wants a part. But it was perfect. Like, it was a great night. We got drafted. A funny story, my internet back here, I lived in High Wycombe at the time, was terrible. That's my... And anyone that doesn't know where High Wycombe is, miles out. It's not the greatest. Sorry for anyone that lives in High Wycombe. And we had a Zoom set up, and if you were top 10 or whatever, they wanted to interview you. Yep. And so I've sat down in front of the Zoom. They're like, okay, you're going on in a few seconds. And I've popped up. I've answered a couple of questions, and they've just started breaking up. So
no.
So, I'm like, oh, Jesus.
This is at the, right, the money shot. And
then it's just gone completely black. Oh. And I went to swear. I was going to be like, oh, fuck, they're gone. Yeah. But I didn't. Luckily, I was like, oh, no, that's it. And got up and left. And then I rewatched the draft a couple of days later and saw that part of the
was still being straight, even though that you're
so just got up and left this interview.
That's it. I'm at it.
So I was straight to the pub. Got a few pints. That was my night.
That's so funny. And I bet you were you freaking out? Was the heart going, oh my God, or was it just kind of like, oh shit, it's just?
I was freaking at that point. Like the interview, I was freaking out because there's so much hype in the room. And there's so much excitement and there's just emotion. You got mum crying, you got dad clapping, and like he never claps, things like that. So yeah, you've just got to sort of calm it down for that second and try and answer some questions. But like they'd start asking a question, I would just have no clue what the question was.
But it's also that you don't have any media training at that point either.
So you fly and dry.
You're just going, yeah. And then and obviously mum and dad would have just been over the moon and like going. And you said you made your dad clap, which is
Ian. He doesn't show much emotion very often, but. No, I think he could have shed a tear. Yeah, he would have hidden it pretty well. But mum was hysterical.
Have you got brothers and sisters or no?
Yeah, I've got an older brother, Lachlan, who's 21, and a younger brother, a younger sister, Georgia, who's should be going on 18 soon. And I think they loved the emotion of it all. But it was an amazing experience.
Oh, it would have been awesome. Yeah, wicked. We're going to more like early Hawthorne stuff in just a sec. So I guess fast forwarding from the draft, drafted to Hawthorne, and what was your first thoughts? Were you stoked with that? Was there much communication before that, or like?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story in itself. I remember there was a lot of media going into that week about Sydney losing a little ear, and they were like, "Oh, well, they're going to need a big backman." So Denver's going to Sydney, sort of thing. And
do they have a pick before?
Yeah, they were pick 3. So and I was like, "Oh, okay." I sort of bought into it a little bit, like because that was the narrative. I was going to Sydney, and Jamara's going to get bid on pick 1, so they're going to slide down to 4, and so I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Like, I'll take Sydney. That's sweet. I'm excited. Like, I'm blessed to go to anywhere.
Yeah.
And then probably 5 minutes before the draft actually started, my manager leans over to me and says, "Oh, Denver, I don't think you're going to Sydney." And I said, "Well, why is that?" And he goes, they don't let who they draft get out. They're very insular about it. So I was like, oh, okay. All right, well, I guess I'm going to Gold Coast because Gold Coast has shown a lot of interest. And I'd spoken to Hawthorne, I met Clarko, had a really good chat with him, but I just didn't get the feeling that
they were hell keen on you. That's probably just him chatting to you. So
exactly. So so sort of Hawthorne bid on Braden Campbell, who went to Sydney as an academy pick, and I was like, okay, sweet, I've just got to wait till Gold Coast pick. And then all of a sudden Hawthorne's picked me, and I remember just the joy and excitement that I felt knowing that the club's history, is just so extensive, and the legends that they've got,
of course,
at the club, and also just like the players, James Sisley for one, like always been one of my favourite players ever.
And then you get to play with him.
And then I get to play with him.
Amazing.
It was just learn off him. It was just amazing. So, yeah, just sort of the big turn of events, and something happening that I wasn't expecting. I was over the moon.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you did your knee. Was that start of 21?
Yeah.
Yeah. And was that AFL game you did that? Or was it VFL training?
No, so I think it was.
Did you play a game before that?
No, I didn't. So
you didn't even debut before that.
No. I remember I was on the cusp. I was pretty close. Round 1, I was showing some really good signs, but we had a pretty good backline at that point. And also like you develop.
Like you've only just got there as well.
Yeah,
like that's the other thing. Like when you actually get drafted, I think what most people don't realise, it's like such a short time until you're actually in.
Exactly right. Normally when you get drafted, you have a good 4 weeks before Christmas, and then you have good 6 weeks before you start entering gameplay.
Yeah.
But with our draft being pushed back, it meant that
there was less time.
We had a week before Christmas, so we did no real training, and then come back after Christmas, and it's a 6-week block, and you're playing games. So you got to learn a game style. You've got to learn. You got to get your body ready. You got to get match fit. All the professionalism. You got to figure it all out. And I didn't adapt quick enough. And key position players are a bit harder. Jack Gunston came to me and told me that because there was some other boys in contention to play, and it annoyed me. It pissed me off because I was like, I'm a super competitive person. And I was like, well, if they're playing, I should be playing. And he's like, you're a key position player. It's going to take you longer, and be patient. And instantly, I'm in my head. I'm like, I'm not good at being patient.
No.
That's one thing I hate is being told to be patient. But you got to understand that with time, things grow, and you learn and develop, and you take more in. And so I just had to bite my time a little bit, which ended up being a lot longer because
of course,
I ended up doing my knee in a VFL game against Richmond.
Oh, shocker! And then when you did that, did you know it's done, or had you had any like really big injury up until then?
No, I did my shoulder a couple of years before, but I played out the game.
Yeah,
like I was fine. And then this injury happened. So what happens? I hyperextended my neck.
Yeah,
my leg. A Richmond player, I think it was Coleman Jones, who's now at North Melbourne.
Yeah.
He was diving for a ground ball.
What a dog, honestly. Coleman Jones, you listen here. I see this knee, that's on you now.
I've spoken to him about it. He sort of just laid across my leg as I went to bump him, and just hyperextend. It's a terrible look.
Oh.
I'll have to get you the video. It's funny now.
It
wasn't at the time.
Not so funny.
I remember I took my mouse guard out of my mouth, and I was just like, I'm going to throw this as far as I can. Just no reason. I was just like, I was in that much pain. I was like, I'm just going to throw it. But then, your adrenaline kicks in, so I got up and started hobbling off, and eventually that hobble turned into a run, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I think. Like, instantly your first thought is it goes to ACL.
Yeah.
So I was very nervous, and then got to the bench, and they did the ACL test, and they said, oh, nah, it doesn't look like it. And I was just like, big sigh of release. Then I was like, okay, so when do I go back on? And they were like, no, you so you got a PCL which sort of runs down. I believe it's either across or down the side.
Yep.
They said that when I got a scan, it revealed there was a slight tear in that, and it was the only thing stopping my leg from completely folding in half. And there's all these stories when someone like life or death situations, they say, oh, that 5 millimeter, but yeah, that was my. It was
hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, literally. So I was very lucky, and I ended up getting away with, I think it was 13 weeks after a bye.
Yep.
Before I came back and played some VFL. I played one VFL game.
Yep.
And was lucky enough we had an injury through the AFL team that sort of gave me an opportunity to play. And then, I've debuted against GWS in round, I should know, but I think it's like 15.
Yep.
At the end of, towards the end of that
Doesn't matter. It was the one that you debuted.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And how was that? Was it played here or was it away? Or?
It was MCG against GWS. No, so COVID was, the border was still shut, so couldn't get the family over. My mum and sister still, my whole family still yet to see me play.
You're joking?
Yeah, so.
Oh my God. Are you in Perth any time soon?
I think 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So
cool.
Freo, so I just got to hold my spot until the Freo game and try and get the family there to watch it.
Wow, that's full on. And I think obviously that would have been such a tough year. It's a tough year for all the guys that are playing interstate, but if that's your first sort of time away, your family's not even seen you play, that's rough, man.
It was different, yeah. So we were lucky enough we didn't have to hub, but there was so many other limitations. I mean, I think I played 5 games last year, and I think 3 or 4 of them didn't have a crowd.
Yep.
And it's such a minor thing, but I can't believe the difference it makes.
Is it just shit?
It's just the weirdest atmosphere you'll ever experience. Yeah. It's just so eerie.
And I guess because obviously the whole thing about playing there, like you're all hyped up and you're like, oh my God, this is the big stage. But then it takes it away, like you said, because there's no one there, there's no atmosphere. It just kind of feel like a training drill.
Yeah, exactly
and you have to try to match the intensity of like the moment, the occasion that you're sort of building up for.
It's weird the impact it has on you. I think it's mentally.
Yeah.
But my first crowd was, I think it was 10,000 at the MCG, which is a very small crowd. Yeah.
What's the biggest crowd you played in front of now?
I think it'd be just short of 70,000.
Wow, what's that like?
Oh, it's crazy. When we played Marvel, Essendon, when they pantsed us at the end there, I remember being on the bench and they just kicked another goal, and so we were down, and I was just smiling. Like, I just had this weird, overwhelming sense of joy, just the crowd, and it's just so loud. It was like, I just can't believe how someone kicking a leather footy around an oval
can get all these
people
doing this.
Is having people scream.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's insane. And best game so far, like either for Hawks and then also ever?
Yeah. I remember I played state 18s as a bottom major.
Yep.
In what they called the championship game. And that was good fun.
Yeah. Is that the one you told me about? Were you playing on Shaz?
No. I played on Shaz a year. Oh, that was after. That was good fun as well.
That was,
No, my breakout game was, as an underager for state 18s. So whoever won, it was out of us, and I think it was Vic Country. Could be Vic Metro, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I was playing on Cody Waitman, so a smaller forward, and I was really lucky. Honestly, it felt like they were just kicking me the ball, so I just sort of landed in my lap a few times.
Just one of those games that was just in the right spot
exactly
all the time.
Right. So I remember Cody Waitman ended up kicking a goal on me, and he gave it to me. He turned around and he told me to get fucked. He did. He was absolutely like. But I think I played a good enough game that sort of like I said, springboarded me into the high draft contention.
Wicked. Yeah, so that was like the real breakout. Well, one of your best games, breakout games. Everyone was like, oh wow. Yeah.
And then we'll talk about like learning. I remember I played that game, played really well, and then went back to WA, and that next week Adam Pickering, he was the Swan Districts League coach. I was walking into my Macca shift. I was doing a late night shift. I was walking in at 8 o'clock after a training session. And he goes, oh, Denver, like, I forgot to mention, mate, you're playing on the weekend. And I was like, yeah, I know, the Colts play at 10 o'clock. And he's like, no, mate, you're playing league at 1.
Wow.
I think I might have been 16 at the time, or 17, and I was just like, you're kidding, right? Like, this is a joke. He's like, nah, mate, straight in. So, all right, no worries. And then that game was actually when I did my shoulder.
Right.
So I played one game
but ran out the game.
Learning. Yeah, ran out the game.
What a fucking weapon,
honestly. I went home. I remember I was in the change rooms after, and the physio comes over to me and she goes, so what happened to your shoulder? I said, oh, I don't know, I just stung it like nothing much. She goes, okay, no worries. And she just goes, oh, let's have a look. And she just tugs on it and bang, it popped out again. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what are you fucking doing? I was like, put it back in.
Leave my arm alone, please. It was fine before you touched it.
Yeah. So then I think 5 days later I had surgery and then I think it was 6-month rehab.
Yep.
Ensued. So yeah, it was also a humbling experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then best game for Hawks thus far?
Well, my debut was I played pretty good in my debut, but talking about injuries, I got concussed in the third quarter, so I don't remember anything from halftime onwards.
Oh,
which is
wow.
It's a crazy experience. But I played on the weekend against Brisbane. We got the win. I played it's probably one of my better games for the club that sort of showed what I want to bring each week, some intercept marking, but also shutting down my opponent. But there's still lots of learnings from it. So
yeah, 100%. I mean, it's
to be a part of. Good win.
Such early days as well for you as well, which is so exciting, isn't it? And then mates at the club that you're sort of guys that you're closest with?
Yeah, I think we just have a really good blend all around. So
there's sort of a good mix of like older guys,
absolutely,
middle guys and young guys now, isn't there?
Yeah, I think the blend, like the ability for the older guys to still be open-minded when it comes to the younger guys in terms of like footy and life. Like they'll get involved in the younger guys' activities, but they'll also listen when the younger guys speak and try and voice their opinions. And their open-mindedness, if that's a word, open-mindedness
definitely
is amazing. And it makes a really good club culture. So I love all the boys.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And is there any that you're particularly tight with? Like the guys, was there any guys that you were drafted along with or anything like that? You spent a little bit more time with or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I got drafted with Jackson Keller was mid-year, sorry.
Yep.
Seamus Mitchell, he was a small forward that's now come down back he's making strides, so I love watching him develop.
Yep.
I'm close with John Newcomb, who was also a mid-year pickup. But yeah, all of us are second-year boys. We call Lockie Bramble was an SSP. So yeah, there's lots of great blend. We've got a really, like I said, we've got a really good group, and it'd be hard to pick one.
Yeah. And you were drafted when Alistair Clarkson was still coach. Yep. How was the Clarko experience? Was that obviously was that a bit weird or was it like a nice smooth transition sort of into Sam Mitchell?
Yeah, it was a bit of both. I think
Did you get on with Clarko pretty well?
Yeah. Clarko's very easy to get along with.
Yeah, cool.
He's a very busy man.
Yep.
Very busy. So you struggle a little bit to find time with him, but no, when you've got him sat down, he's just focused on you.
Yep. He's in the room.
Yeah, exactly right. He's super present, which is a really, really good ability to have as a senior coach with so many things going on. So,
of course.
Yeah, I mean, and he's one of the greatest coaches.
Oh, exactly
ever.
Right.
So, it was amazing just to have him there and learn off him, and then also knowing that his predecessor in Sam Mitchell was learning off him. I just knew that the club was going to be in good stead. But there was a few things that a club could have done better. There, when it came out that Sam was taking over at the start of next year, we sort of found out through the cameras on the ground, which was unfortunate. But you just sort of take it as a club, and then the club were as transparent as they could have been.
Yeah, that's
the whole
good.
thing. They were really, really good, and making sure that we were media trained and understood the situation and knew how to speak on it and knew how to not speak on it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was very well handled.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a tricky and bit of an awkward time sometimes as well. And I mean, there's so many different moving parts with a team. It's not just the players and the coaches and stuff. There's so much going on.
There was uncertainty within the club itself, and but yeah, they were just super transparent with us, gave us honest opinions, or gave us their honest thoughts, what was going on, what was unsure, things like that. So it was very well handled.
That's good. And biggest mentors so far, or like guys, like players that you've learnt stuff off thus far?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a pest. I question a lot. So my way of learning is I need a question to understand, and then I need to understand to be able to action. And Sicily is one that I go to with all of my particulars, and Sam Frost, who's now gone forward. He's one that I also question quite a bit. He plays sort of our fullback. But yeah, I just sort of lean off those two, and then Carl Hardigan also, who has had a good amount of years in the system. So I just sort of lean off all of them. There's no one person, but I use Sis a lot for a variety of different things, whether it's leadership, whether it's like communicating, whether it's footy. So they've been really helpful.
That's good. And is there anyone that you've matched up on that you've seen out in the ground that obviously, because these are some of the guys that you'd be playing against now,
Yeah.
or like ones that you've grown up going, oh wow, like, you know, how good's this bloke? Was there any weird moments where you're like, oh my God, I'm on the ground with this person?
I think Buddy Franklin. I think we played him a few weeks ago, and I was just like, it was the weirdest feeling. I walked out, and he just had a presence about him. Like, I remember because I'm very chippy, and I'm lucky because the rules can protect me that no one can punch me in the face as much as they'd
just
like to.
Just an absolute pest.
Yeah, I remember he pushed me in the back once, and I was like, "Oh, nice one, dickhead." I said that to Buddy Franklin, which is a big
asking
mistake.
for it, eh?
Yeah, and then I've kicked the ball, and he's just straight away gone, "Nice kick, dickhead." And like before he'd even turn around to look where the ball went, they marked it, and you just knew. And then all of a sudden they kicked it to him, and he had a shot on goal. And I was just like, "Oh, what a turnaround!"
Wow, that is awesome. That is just like God status stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a legend of the game, and it was amazing to just share the field with him.
Yeah, that's wicked. That's unreal. And Hawthorne play a lot of their games, or some of your games in Tasmania. You sort of go all over the place a little bit. Like we were just chatting before you going up to Darwin, did you say, for this week? Yeah, is that sort of, is it cool or is it a bit weird sort of playing in like the I guess maybe not so traditional grounds and ovals?
Yeah, I think so. Like Tassie's, it's a completely different feeling.
I've not been to Tassie before. Still.
Oh, it's a good experience. It's just cold.
Yeah,
like, it can be quite cold down there, but nonetheless, I mean, you're playing footy, you're running around, you get hot. Like it's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's a different feeling. It's open. Yeah, the crowd shows up, and it's what I find amazing is a lot of the time there'll be opposition. Like we had Brisbane on the weekend, and they had just as many supporters as us down there. So. No, it's amazing to see the community sort of come together and the events that they sort of hold down there. But yeah, we get a good spread. So we're up to Darwin this week versus Gold Coast.
Have you been to Darwin before?
Never.
Man, I've been to Darwin once. The only nightclub appearance I ever did after doing Love Island stuff was up in Darwin. There was this place called, not that you're going to go visit anyway, Monsoon nightclub, right? Okay. They flew a few of us up there. And oh my God, that was a dirty wild night. Oh, bro. Think of the dirtiest, worst nightclub you could ever be in and then put it in Darwin. Times it by 10 and put it in Darwin. This place was grotty, but oh man, it was so fun. It was really good. You're going to go do the croc thing?
I don't know, but we fly up on Friday, play on Saturday.
Yep.
And
that's pretty quick.
They've given the opportunity for the boys to stay there for a couple of days.
Oh, cool. Because is it the buy?
No, it's not the buy, but they just sort of want to get a bit more community engagement up there.
Yep.
Maybe some education pieces.
Sick. Go do the crocodile thing. There's on the main strip, there's crocodiles in a tank, and you go inside an acrylic box and they put you in the croc tank.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Pretty cool. And then they feed it and shit.
That sounds
it was hell sick. You should go and they give you a little baby one to hold. It's pretty cool. And it's literally on the main drag. There's not very many streets.
One main road.
Yeah. Well, the hotel that I stayed at, for that, it was the what's the name? The Hilton. It was the Hilton there. It was like the one really sort of nice hotel. Rolled in about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was just before Christmas time, and they had this gingerbread village house thing that was all set up and it had lights on it and everything. And I've rolled in at 3 a.m. And all I've seen is this huge, it's massive. It was 3 meters by 4 meters. It's got a train, it's got a church, it's got all this elaborate stuff on it, right? And I've just gone, I'm taking some of this with me. So I've just gone King Kong on this thing.
Way.
And I've taken out half a suburb on it. I fucking grabbed it all.
I've got you on camera.
And I'm literally like this, and I walk up into the elevator, go on up. There's literally a trail of shortbread all the way up to my room. And then I wake up the next morning, there is shortbread everywhere.
You probably didn't even eat it.
It was everywhere. I was like, what the fuck did I do? It was all over the walls and everything. I was like, oh my God.
Shortbread murder scene.
Yeah. And then I was like, I got to get out of here. My flight was that next morning. So I'm checking out, and I'm like, oh yeah, room 301, checking out, and goes, sorry mate, you're the Love Island guy from Perth, yeah? And I was like, oh yeah. And he goes, oh yeah, you're gonna have to pay for that thing. It cost me $400 to replace the fucking thing.
For shortbread you didn't even eat.
Yeah, literally. Oh, that's funny. And what are you wanting to get out of this year? Is there anything that's been a real big focus for you to work on, personally, with your game, with your club, how you're going about stuff, anything like that? Or?
I'd love to continue to develop good, deep relationships, and I believe
you're a hard bloke to get along with, so it's it must be really hard.
It's tough on the lads. No, I'm a strong believer in happy life. It will just help your footy go to the next level. I've got to be enjoying my life to enjoy my football, and
Definitely.
I find that I play my best footy when I'm enjoying footy. So trying to work on the balance, and just my aim for this year is to crack in and play as many games as possible. So missed one so far, management with my ankle. So
doing pretty well.
I'm enjoying it. I'm learning so much. I find that being in the AFL team, you just every week is a learning, no matter how good you play.
Yep.
Which I find is super enticing. I find that it's like the best way to learn is throwing you in the deep end.
100%. You got to physically do the thing.
Exactly right. So it's good watching clips, and there's you watch things you think you do really well on the day, and it's like, well, if you did it this way, you'd be better off. And like you just micro adjustments like that can just take your game to the next level.
Definitely. And you're doing lots of that. So I guess you do that with the club anyway. Lots of reflection on it all.
Yeah, not so much highlight clips.
That's right. I was trying to lead that too. I was going, I knew it was the highlight clips.
I tend to I'm not pessimistic at all, as you'd know. But I tend to look at the things I can learn from more so because I already have confidence in my own strengths to continue to bring them each week. But every once in a while, you do have to watch the old good clip to remember what to do.
Absolutely.
I just don't know if it's a reel.
Yeah. And what are you doing for fun? Like, is there anything that you're doing outside of the club that's like, you playing a game or anything like that?
I do like my gaming.
What do you play? I'm not into it. Literally, the last console I owned was like a PlayStation 2. Seriously.
PlayStation, even I remember. Like Crash Bandicoot, Matrix, I used to play things like that.
Yeah.
Just bought Elden Ring, which is a open world game. It's like so frustrating. Like I've already tried to break that many things in my room, but I try not to game too much. But I just find little pleasures in life. So like every time we get a day off during the week, I'll go to a cafe and just sit and have breakfast on my own, and I'll people watch, people observe. I'll go on my phone, and I've got a friend of mine who owns a cafe in Canterbury, for anyone that's in Melbourne, called Outlaw, and I just love like the community feeling. I can walk in and they're just like, oh, Denver, yep, and the usual, get the coffee and sit down, and I have certain days where I don't want to talk, and I've developed a relationship with them to the point where they'll understand that.
Yep.
But there's also days where I will want to talk, and like it's funny, I'll get up and I'll start taking people's plates and like not working there, but just doing little things like that I find joy in.
Nice.
Just gonna make sure I keep doing them.
You're a very funny dude, and it's like any of the sessions that we've had in the gym, it's always been a big laugh.
Yeah, I try and crack jokes to get away from.
Yeah, you do. You try to be the fucking trainer more than me half the time as well. So
I could critique Jared's form.
Oh mate, appreciate catching up. Can't wait to continue to chat. We're going to go dinner and keep catching up. But congratulations on everything thus far and killing it this year. And congratulations, big time on the blue tick, obviously.
Yeah, thank you.
And keep
congratulations for being here, for getting the Body Match invite. I appreciate it.
Thank you.